If your loved one is in prison or jail, you have to assume that any communications you have with them or they have with you, it can be still used against them. It can be looked at. A lot of people can get access to it. And that's exactly what's going on right now in the murder case of Madeline Soto. Uh, the family of Stephan Sterns writing some letters back and forth. We have one right here we'll take a look at in just a moment. But within those letters is some very interesting information or accusations of others being involved in abuse, the murder of Madeline Soto. That's kind of up for debate, depending on how you interpret the language. Joining me to discuss, Shavaun Scott, psychotherapist and author. Basically, we have letters from the brother of Stephan Sterns, and we have one from mom. Mom is the one who I found to be the most interesting, talking about uh, that there's other people involved in this, and seemingly she has some sort of knowledge of thing. We all know blank redacted. The name's not in there. I'm assuming she's talking about Jen Soto. That's just my assumption. Was heavily involved in this, and I'm disgusted that she is free and you are not. When this is not all your fault. What was your reaction to reading this
Yeah,
letter from
yeah,
mom?
yeah. Really strange thinking. It's not all your fault. Well, if any of it was his fault, all this material was on his phone.
Yeah.
What an attempt to minimize there. And the other thing that popped into my head is it's very common for mothers to have great difficulty believing that their kid could be a monster. And so, is this rationalizing an attempt for her to feel better,
hmm
that, well, other people led him into it or other people were involved or, he's not really the monster he appears to be.
What I find interesting is it's like, well, you're like monster light. Like you're
Yeah.
kind of a monster, but you're not
Yeah.
all a monster.
Yeah.
Um, that to me is just it's shocking, and especially in a case like this where it's pretty cut and dry. There's
Yes.
not a lot up for debate here. There's images of him having raping a child
Yeah.
on this phone for many years. It's there. There's no looking back and saying, "Oh, it's not real." It is. So, in some aspects, she seems to have an understanding of this being reality, but still, I guess, is she not grasping the gravity of what exactly is going on here? I mean, this is it. I don't know. I mean, I would think at this point you'd just be done with your kid.
Oh my God, yes. No, she's clearly minimizing. She's minimizing, rationalizing, and looking for someone else to blame, which is not a healthy way to be.
Mhm.
It shows that there's some red flags about her perception of reality. It's off.
Did you garner anything out of this letter that maybe she was aware of some of these things going on? Because there was a lot of, we all know she was in this, into that too. You did? Really?
Right.
You
Yeah.
knew that other things, like, what did you
Yeah.
know and when did you know it?
Yes.
That's a weird thing to me. What did you take out of some of those
I
statements?
had the same thought. It has this sense that the awareness is not new.
Mhm.
And, at how far back was the awareness that there's something off here? And did
Mhm.
she know the full extent of it, or did she just have some hints about it? Yeah, it was a very weird letter.
With people like this, I always I go back and I say, well, what's the recipe? What made Stefan Stearns? What this is one of the pieces right there, mom.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what made me kind of start to raise more my eyebrows on this was okay. The minimalization on these things, the somewhat seemingly recognition that there is some knowledge of what's going on here with her son. Okay, well, how was he raised? What the hell happened in
mhm,
that house? And
exactly.
that's an interesting one that I think. I mean, should that be investigated as part of this case to understand, what made this person who they are today? Not to minimize it or dismiss anything,
Yeah,
but it makes you wonder. Okay, you're cool with this. What? Who else
right.
do you know? What else is going on in your
What
world?
else do you know? And so many of the allegations from people that knew him going back years, friends, He was always weird sexually, he was always obsessed with porn, just strange stories, and to what extent did she know that and just let it be,
Hmm.
be accepting of it? It's certainly questionable.
It's it's very bizarre. Where do you think we're going to see, or where do you think things are at here? Obviously, there's been no charges against Jen Soto as of right now. That's of course mom, who it seems is being insinuated in the letter as having more knowledge of this, at least from Stephan Sterns' mom. But why haven't we seen an arrest there yet? Because it seems very evident. At least my conjecture on it is that yeah, there was some knowledge here. I mean, she's encouraging her daughter and her boyfriend to go sleep together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that there hasn't been because I agree with you. The extent of this abuse and her seeming collusion by putting them in the same bed together. It's bizarre that she could claim she had no idea that any of this was going on and her, attempting to enable him during the search where she was comforting him. I mean, there's so much that's off and so much that's suspicious. It surprises me that there hasn't been an arrest. But we would think if they could come up with something significant, they would have done it by now. So it's another curious aspect to this.
Yeah, it makes you wonder: is she providing more information to bring more people down, or are they just going to kind of let
Yeah.
her do her thing and just keep collecting as they can
Yeah.
to do just that?
Yeah.
Fascinating one. As that I know the next hearing I believe for Stefan Stern is now in October. They keep pushing the trial date back. I'm going to guess because they're just still gathering more evidence of
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.